Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and podcast. My name is Jessica Johnson. I'm the author of Your Right Life, Get Clear on What You Want, Overcome Self-Doubt, and Bring Your Dreams to Life. And today I want to share small steps that lead to big life changes. So these are the things that when I thought back about starting a podcast and moving halfway across the world and writing a book and starting a business and all the things, what made the biggest difference and what were the small things that made big difference that were like free to do most of the time, that you could do like in 10 seconds or within a day at the most. Okay, so here are my favorite things to incorporate that are small but like get a big bang for your buck. All right. So the first thing is thinking from the perspective of the person who already has your dream. So if you dream of having an amazing art studio maybe, but right now you're at home and you're like, how do I create an art studio? How do I build a business that people come to? How do I get confident sharing my art and creativity? How do I price things? How do I feel confident putting myself out there and telling friends and family, I think I can do this. I think I can be this person. I am this person. You want to think from the perspective of the person who already has that dream. And it's the same for if you want to write a book, start a business, launch a podcast, do any other kind of thing, travel somewhere. What does the person who has your dream think about? What are the thoughts she's repeating to herself? Things like, I can do this, I'm capable, I make such a difference for people, people love what I put out, every day I get to do what I love. What habits does she have? What are her behaviors? What are her friendships like? What does she wear? What is her routine? All these things are so fun to get into her headspace. And one day, what I did is I just journaled on it. And I was like, here's my business goal. I want to be making this much per month. I want to be doing work that fulfills me. I want to be making an impact. What does this person who's already at that level, what is she like? What is her day-to-day? Down to her thoughts, down to what she wore, what she did in the morning, the evening, lunchtime. What exactly did her day look like? I think if you're just hearing this, you can be like, oh yeah, I already know, I won the lotto and all these things. But really, if you actually make yourself sit down and spend 15 minutes even writing it out in detail, you will force yourself to get really clear and to have a vision that most people never even get to. Oprah has famously said before that most people don't get what they want because they actually don't know what they want. It's so vague, it's so generalized, it's like this far off vision, and they're so consumed with just the emergencies of their lives, which we all have a lot going on, right? But 15 minutes, we spend that on Instagram a lot of the time. So if you can spend 15 minutes thinking what do I actually want? If I could pick anything, I want to be careful. What does it look like? I want to be intentional with this. For me, it was a really inspiring vision to see the gaps between where I was and who I wanted to be. But instead of needing to buy another course or program or someone else's strategy, I had the path laid out. I could see exactly the kinds of things that I would be doing every morning. And so if I wasn't doing them, it's well, there is your steps. You better start doing these things. That's how you're going to become this person. And it's hard at first to think different thoughts and to have different habits and ways of reacting and emotions and even beliefs about yourself and what you're capable of. But that is also the exact place where the work is. That is the becoming that you are after to get to big changes in your life. So I wouldn't look at it okay, wow, this person is so far from where I am. I would look at it this is my practice. These are the things that every single day I start to show up and do my best at. And if I miss a day, that just means I'm going back to this old personality or old self, and I'm going to continually strive to become this newer person. And I will, over time, become more and more like her than like the current version that maybe you're at. So you'll start to physically and emotionally and spiritually and all the things move towards this person that you want to become just from the small steps and changes that you make every day in the way you talk to yourself, what you think you're capable of, how you start your day, how you end your day, things like that. And you can start to find little ways to trade things out. So that's one little thing that I love to do in this process of becoming is I'll just look for things that I can trade. So sometimes halfway through the day, I kind of want to just like sit down and veg for a second. And whereas normally I would scroll social media, I started replacing that with just a 10-minute or 5-minute YouTube video about something that I wanted to learn. So I would watch someone give a testimonial or share how they did something that I also wanted to be able to do. I would just learn something. These videos, like I mentioned, were short, like 5 or 10 minutes, but every single day added up. And I started to become better and faster at learning how to do these things and thinking like the people that I wanted to become. And so you can do that with even like doing dishes or cooking. Put on a little podcast that teaches you something different, play an audiobook. If you really want to watch TV at the end of the night, maybe you also, walk on the treadmill while you're watching TV. Or it's not like you have to become this high functioning robot in every area of your life, but there's a lot of little ways that you can match habits that help you become who you want to become, or swap things out just 5-10 minutes at a time. And over time, you'll be surprised like what a difference that makes. So that's number one, is think from the perspective of the person who already has your dream. If you are thinking, I can't do this, I'm not good at this, I'm not going to be able to help anyone, no one wants to hear what I have to say, that is not how a person who is speaking to an audience of 1 million people thinks. She probably thinks things like, I'm showing up to make a difference. I cannot wait to see who I get to impact today. I'm thankful to do this work. I'm excited to share my message. So over time, you can start to become that person, okay? The second thing is get yourself in spaces where people think like who you want to be. And you don't need to purchase a ticket to these events. You can, and we'll talk about that. But there's also ways you can kind of like get these people and ideas in your ear without even having to physically go to a space. Obviously, the more you do and the more you can get in rooms, the better your impact will be. But like there's so many things you can do in between those big like mountaintop moments. So the things that I would do when I was looking to become a business owner, but I was still in my corporate job, is I would go to networking events in my area. I would look up things on Eventbrite or Meetup, and I'd find like young professional networking events in my area. Or once I figured out kind of other skills and interests I was passionate about and interested in, I would just look things up and I would get into the rooms of people and meet people and hear their ideas and how they did things. And not only did that inspire me and kind of start to build a new community, but it also built this network that I didn't even realize would be so beneficial later on to be able to message someone with a question or for an introduction or things like that. So you'll get the immediate benefit of just being in the energy of who you want to be one day, but you never know where those friendships and connections will lead. And that's just kind of the bonus, like magic dust on top of everything that you just get to wonder like where it leads in the future. You can also hire a mentor to help you. I have had coaches and mentors for years of my life. I have invested my own money and money from my business into that. It's been a priority for me because I just feel like having someone you can talk to almost every week who can help you hold all that's going on when you're changing your life for the better, who can cut down the amount of decision time you'd spend making a decision and just say, here's the answer, like go for it. I've seen this 1 million times. And just kind of a friend and ally on that journey is so helpful and is worth any amount of money. I think it's really just helped me in becoming who I want to be and getting there, I don't know, just faster, but like more fuller as well. Like it's been a richer experience to have someone to go on the journey with me. So if you can invest in a mentor or someone that you really resonate with, why not have that person in your corner cheering for you, telling you what they've learned, telling you what they've seen before? Like if that could make you in your business, maybe you invest $1,000 a month, but just having someone who has an expert lens could make you $10,000 more that month. It's so worth it, right? It's a no-brainer. Why wouldn't you spend $1,000 to get $10,000? Like you would play that game all day at the casino or a lottery or something like that. So thinking like from that perspective. You know, you could even do Facebook groups. There's so many Facebook groups out there for every kind of topic. So if you're a new mom and you're looking for tips, there's a Facebook group for that. If you're getting healthy, there's a Facebook group for that. If you want to start a business, there's a Facebook group for that. Get into these groups. I completely understand the experience that many people face when they're trying to do something new and different with their life and they feel like their friends and family just don't get it. It's because you're doing something different and that's uncomfortable for everyone around you. So what you want to start to do is becoming in places where you're actually around people who get it more often than not. And if your friends and family can't do that for you, it's okay. That's very common. Then go to the places where people are trying to pursue what you want, whether it's health or the business or motherhood or whatever it is. Get around people who are in the trenches and figuring it out, and you'll start to feel a lot better about your own path. You'll get new ideas. It's not about cutting out the people that don't get it, right? I'm sure that they bring so much to your life or love you in so many other different ways. And some people, will be able to meet you in certain things and not in others. And that's their role in your life. They don't have to be all things. But definitely it's on you then to go and figure out where you can feel fulfilled and inspired and nourished from people who do get it as well. And then, of course, there's always books, there's podcasts. You can watch videos of people who've done what you want to do. If things are free on YouTube these days, you can learn anything online. And so letting audiobooks or podcasts be the voices in your head and become your new mental soundtrack is so valuable. You are in charge of what thoughts you think and hear all the time. And if you feel like you are beaten down by your own thoughts, or you're not getting them to be as empowering as you want, or you're not sure that you know what to do next, listen to books where people have distilled decades of wisdom into a single book. Listen to podcasts that are on what you want to learn. So many ways to find these things and to start to play those as the thoughts you think more and more often. And it will help replace the ones that aren't as empowering or just are not sure where you want to go, right? Which we all have. We're all trying to get somewhere in our evolution. And so it's just a matter of finding what's going to help you in your next stage. I think the third thing that I would recommend for small steps that lead to big life changes is observing how you function best or experimenting with that. So I don't know about you, but for years I feel like I believed you had to be a 5 a.m. wake up, run kind of girl in order to be optimizing at full force. And I don't subscribe to that anymore. I really have experimented with where is my energy best for different tasks. So for me, I know I want to work in the morning because that's where my energy is highest. I get my best ideas. I still have the most gung-ho spirit for the day. Towards the afternoon, it's more of a task time for me. Let's cross off the easy things and get some things done. For you, it could be the opposite, but think about that. When do you get your best work done, and how can you structure your day for that so that you're not fighting this uphill battle? You're not trying to write the next chapter of your novel at a time that isn't conducive to you. You're not recording a podcast when you're exhausted from the day and have nothing left to give. You want to be operating when you function best. That could even be for something like health. So I'm the opposite with health. I really don't like a first thing in the morning workout. I know a lot of people do. I know there's research and stuff why it's so good, but I have tried it and experimented and just found that for me, I love a little bit of time in the morning to get my work done and then kind of take my workout mental break time, or even in the afternoon after lunch when my energy's high, I've just eaten, I feel like I want to break anyway. That's my best workout time. It's not at night when I'm tired. So I've experimented with all these things, and you can too, to find when do you do your best work? When can you support yourself with learning something new, with getting a new skill, with doing the podcast or the book or the art or the creative project that's going to actually use your best energy and make things just a lot easier rather than pushing a big boulder up a hill. Why do that to yourself? We're talking small steps for big changes and working smarter, not harder. I also pay attention to little things when it comes to noticing how I function best. So little things that will drain you or your kind of magic creation mode for putting something out in the world. So for me, that's social media. I've really reduced at this point in my life a lot of my social media usage, and I have channeled even my entire business to YouTube, to blogs, to long form content, podcasts, books, things like that. Because for me, I notice my energy fall within like days. If I'm back on Instagram scrolling, I just don't like the way it makes me feel. Not to get on a soapbox here. I'm sure all of us have had our own experiences with social media, but I dial it in and I watch for things like that. And if you start to notice them in your own life, maybe see if there's a way you can play around with it or reduce it or replace it with something else to protect your best energy, your best creativity, like your ability to go and get your workouts in if you want to, or to write your screenplay or whatever it may be. So be very sensitive to like when you do your best work, what drains that out of you, and then like little tweaks you can add to make it easier to do the things you want to do. So if you want to start taking supplements, put them like in front of the front door. So before you leave in the morning, you cannot leave without taking the supplement. If you want to make sure that you incorporate more journaling, put like a notepad by your bed and be like, no matter what, I will spend 5 minutes journaling every day minimum, and I will do it before I go to bed. Surely for 5 minutes you can think of something, and make sure that that's part of your day. You want to spend more time, I don't know, like doing a podcast. Find out when your energy's best, get up and do that thing, put the stuff out so it's easy, so the next day all you have to do is literally sit down and press record. So just learning how to work with yourself and best support the changes that you want to make. All right, so let's recap. That's like a lot of information and hopefully some ideas. Even if there's one you can use, think about as I go through this list what your idea would be. Number 1, think from the perspective of the person who already has your dream. What are her thoughts, her habits, routines? What does she say to herself? How does she dress? Who does she hang around? Start to become that person. Number 2, get yourself in spaces where people think like who you want to be. That could be conferences, in-person events, networking events, getting a mentor, investing in someone who can support you, Facebook groups, books, podcasts. Let this become your mental soundtrack, the energy that you're living in day after day. And then number 3, observe how you function best or become like a mad scientist experimenting with when you work best, what food makes you feel your best, what drains you, what little things you can do that where you feel like you always can. Just remember to do the thing you want to do because it's right front and center or it's all set up for you. All of these are small steps, most completely free, that over time will lead to really big changes and have for me. And the big final caveat is it's not about being perfect. I don't share these things like I have all the answers and I figured out how to make all these crazy changes. I'm on my own journey as well of evolving, and I always want to be becoming someone, different, someone better, someone who's able to do the things I want to do more fully, more confidently, all the things. So it's just the things that I've learned that really help me, and hopefully they can help you no matter the season you're in or whatever your own next challenge is. All right, so I believe in you. Below, I have included some free workbooks if you want to find your passion or purpose or a brilliant business idea. You can check those out and make sure you subscribe, and I'll be back again soon.